Manager Levine will fight to get you the compensation you deserve. Call me, Glenn Levine, for a free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
Main office, Jacksonville.
Need your carpets and towel looking great for that special holiday party? Call Zero Res. Zero Res technicians are cleaning freaks. Google it and read more than 5,000 five-star reviews. Zero Res. Spell it forwards or backwards. Zero Res. It's the right way to clean.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Woodcraft of Jacksonville is your local source for woodworking tools, projects, and lumber. If you're interested in a new skill, we offer woodworking classes from basics to advanced. If you need help with a current project, our knowledgeable staff at Woodcraft can help because we're a trusted source for woodworkers. Just come by our location on the corner of St. John's Bluff and Beach Boulevard or call 721-9796. Get your Woodcraft gift certificate for the holidays now.
It's football season, and nothing tastes better on game day than Hoffman's Upstate New York German Franks, snappy grillers, all beef dogs, and a variety of handheld, handcrafted sausages just waiting for that tailgate. Whether you're in the stadium, the parking lot, or in the best seat in the house in front of your TV, pick up Hoffman at area stores, or order online and have our ridiculously tasty products shipped. Now you can spike the ball. Taste tells. HoffmanSausage.com.
It's your boy E.T. And when I get triggered, be sure to check out my slightly salty instant reactions about your home team on all social platforms. Brought to you by Brackish, for those that live life slightly salty.
Expert Automotive, Jacksonville's only automotive repair shop, where every car we work on gets a lifetime repair warranty. Never pay for service again once it's fixed. Winter travel is around the corner, and now is the time to get your winterization. Do you still have AC issues? Freon prices are falling, and we can save you money. At Expert Automotive, we service all makes and models. Call 374-3373 today to schedule your appointment. Expert Automotive. We never sell greed, only what you need.
Sounds from the swampland with Tab Benoit and New Orleans' own Dirty Dozen Brass Band. Saturday, December 3rd at Florida Theater. I'm a night train. Tab Benoit and the Dirty Dozen Brass Band join forces for one bluesy, soulful evening. Tickets at floridatheater.com. Tab Benoit and the Dirty Dozen Brass Band. December 3rd, live at Florida Theater.
Perfect Rack Billiards in Murray Hill is your spot to be for all your football needs. Full liquor bar, 8 pool tables, darts, and shuffleboard. Weekly specials every day of the week from 60-cent wings to seltzer Saturdays, along with wing and pitcher specials on Sunday, and tons of great draft choices daily. There isn't a better place to play pool, have a beer, and just kick back. Half-price apps from 9 to close weekdays. Perfect Rack Billiards on Edgewood and Murray Hill. The best place in Jacks to watch sports.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
She said you're strange, but don't change in a letter. Tuesday night, 2 for Tuesday. Double shots on a Tuesday. We have Bruins hockey. Bruins Tampa Bay, 1-0 good guys. 20 minutes in. Getting set to drop the puck. What an unbelievable atmosphere, I will say, in Tampa. Of course, this game tonight is in the hub where the Bruins, I want to say, are 11-0 at home. But Tampa Bay, I mean, we talk about this state often. I think the one thing that we can all really agree upon, just look at Florida State on Friday night. Look at the Jaguars on Sunday, even though, Jacksonville went through a difficult time where they lost 5 in a row. They've now won 2 of 3. Okay, I got hammered for that on Twitter because I talked about the Florida State win, and there's all this Gator flexing and all these Gator excuses. And, I was kind of like, okay, but let me remind you that over the last 12, Florida State's 8-4. And a lot of people are like, well, why don't you do the rivalry, dating back to the first time they met? And I'm like, because I don't feel like it. Okay? I mean, it's my opinion. Whether it's on the radio or it's on social media, if you want to get me into the spin zone, fine. Jacksonville's won 2 out of the last 3. Okay? And the atmosphere there on Sunday, I thought, was electric. I thought it was really good for the fans who showed. This one here in Tampa with the Lightning is absolutely spectacular. And as much as I love Jessica Blaylock, and they won the President's Cup a year ago for the most overall points during the 2021-2022 NHL season, you can hear a pin drop in that place. It doesn't have it. And, I think that's the case for a lot of teams in Miami. They'll tell you there's so much to do there. Why do I want to go to a hockey game? I could be rolling through South Beach or doing whatever it is. But, yeah, Tampa gets it, even though they're on the road. They are in Boston. All right, that's it. Enough hockey talk tonight, unless, of course, when either one of these two teams does score, I will keep you updated. We love Tuesday nights around here. We really do. The place gets all cleaned up. We got our weekly man in here. He is our, what is the word I'm looking for?
Janitor?
No.
Custodian?
No. He's I had the term the other day. He is is it a electrical? I forget it. It's a great term. Because, I don't want to get canceled over calling
someone. You mean like an engineer? Like
I know what he is. He's a custodial engineer.
There you go.
That's what he is.
Exactly.
Bro, I'll get canceled as a janitor. You may think Ballou's coming on tonight at 8. He's going to sneak in janitor. That was you, JJ.
I'll dump that.
We can't call people.
I'll dump that.
We can't dump it. Yeah, you can't call anyone a steward, a stewardess anymore. Can you call someone a secretary?
I'm not sure.
I'm not going to call him a janitor. He's a custodial engineer.
But he's one of my favorite people.
Oh, I love him too. I absolutely love him. He is fantastic, and we have our conversations, no matter when I see him, 52 weeks a year, are always about the Jaguars. And he's a spectacular guy. But the point I'm getting at is that the building right now is clean, and it's a great night for him to come in because, of course, tomorrow is the J Fund. And we put up a record-setting number a year ago. It was absolutely phenomenal, and we're going to try to break that tomorrow night. Let me tell you that on tomorrow night's show, 6 to 8, I know we're going to get bumped on the AM for Gator basketball in the 7 o'clock hour. So I want to remind you, for those of you who like to listen on AM, and I'm a big fan of AM. I am. I love the old sound of AM radio, okay? I grew up listening late night to Boston Bruins games with Bob Wilson on the call, and back to the old legendary days of the Boston Red Sox, where Jim Woods and company. Joe Castiglione has been there forever, and Jerry Trippiano, and just listening to the clock radio, and back then everything was with your hand, and you had to try to with your thumb find it perfectly on the station without getting too much, resistance or hiss, or it would bleed out time and again. You'd be like, what's going on? That's old school AM radio. Okay. FM came in and all of a sudden it's crystal clear. People are like, you got to be kidding me. And obviously that was there for music, but talk radio has taken over on the FM, whether it's news talk or in this case, sports talk. Tomorrow's a huge day. And I just want to let you know that if you can do something tomorrow for Tom Coughlin's annual J Fund, it is definitely appreciated. We're going to have a couple of guests on tomorrow night. I'm going to do my regular show. Okay, the money has changed in just one day from Jacksonville being a 1-point underdog to now Jacksonville being a 1.5-point favorite on the road. That means a lot of money has been dumped early in the week on the Jaguars. So, we'll talk with the Philly Godfather tomorrow night, certainly about that game. Some other big games as far as Championship Saturday that is happening. But also we are going to be asking for your time and your effort and your money for these kids. It's one of our favorite shows year in, year out. It's not always a happy ending, which is so disappointing. It's really humbling, but it's special for these kids. So that'll be tomorrow night. I just want, I want the 6 to 8, and I know I'm on 8 to 10 tonight, but the rest of the shows are 6 to 8. I have a lot of, what am I looking for? A lot of pride, 6 to 8. I love it. I really do. When I got moved here for reasons that I won't announce right now, I was told that, local radio, night radio will never work locally. And I said, okay, well, let's give it a shot. And it's been unbelievable, okay? I mean, sold out. We have sponsors. We have clients. I'm not allowed to talk legally about ratings, so I won't. But whatever. Okay, I'm just not going to talk about it. But the reaction that comes in, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on our text line, 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. And I think I've been here now for what? What's it been, like 4 years? 3.5 years? I don't even remember. Time flies. But the case I'm making is I really enjoy the relationship with those who listen to our show in this time slot, 6 to 8, and, of course, 8 to 10 on Tuesday night. Tomorrow, 6 to 8, man, I want to get after the other guys. I want to pass them. That's how competitive I am. I want to raise the most amount of money that we possibly can during that time slot. So I'm not telling you if you're out earlier in the day or whatever not to send in your donations then. That would be completely idiotic by me. I don't want you to misrepresent what I'm trying to say. But if you can wait till 6 o'clock, that's kind of cool because we're going to be getting after it. And, it's not like I want a trophy or a pat on the back. I just want to do the best that we can for these kids. So that's coming up tomorrow night. That'll be obviously a very interesting show if you've never heard it before. We've been doing this now forever. I don't how many years it's been, JJ?
I think this is 14 or...
Sounds about right. I think the radio
15?
station has been up for 15 and a half years, something like that. I want to say this may be our 14th. Yeah, that sounds correct. So, excuse me. That is not COVID. That is not flu. What was her name? Oh, gosh, what was her name in the old Rock 105? Patty would run outside and smoke a Marlboro Light, 100,000 and 2 drags. Come back in here and, okay, man, we got some local rock with 38 Special, and we're going to continue down here with our Deep South roots. We're going to play some Molly Hatchet, and then, well, we'll go to 72 when Dwayne Allman joined Eric Clapton. We'll play Layla from Derek and the Dominoes. What was her name? You weren't even here then.
Nope, not aware.
She was across the street with the Woodman, Lex and Terry, some of the other guys. Rick, I played golf, and he was such a good guy. Rick, was it Rick Davis? Or Rick, damn. Can't remember. Can't remember his name.
See, that's why these people need a nice radio name.
Yeah.
You'll never forget Hacker.
No, you won't. But anyway, good guys across the street. And that's the deal. So, all right. We got a lot to do tonight. I mean, this is the night that I carve out an opportunity for you to blast away. What's on your mind. You got to be happy about the Jaguars, right? You got to be ecstatic about what they did on Sunday. An opportunity to call in tonight at 641-1010. You have to be ecstatic about the Florida State Seminoles. And the latest installment of the college football playoff rankings are out. I do want to go through these after our first break, but as expected, Georgia, Michigan, TCU, USC They are your top 4. If they all win on Saturday, they're in. End of story. Dogs have to knock off LSU. Michigan has to knock off Purdue. TCU has to knock off Kansas State. USC, and this is going to be a really interesting game against Utah in Las Vegas. Frankly, I think that's the best of the 4. And, I've always said that I've been a Pac-12 fan, and, there's Heisman feelings there. There's Heisman feelings at TCU where, they announced, the 3 finalists today. I think it was for the Davey O'Brien Award. I want to say that it was Hooker, it was Williams, and I want to say either Young out of Alabama or Stroud out of Ohio State. But Max Duggan is getting absolutely zero love. Max Duggan is Tony Baselli of the mid-'90s in Jacksonville, Florida. That's a perfect example. And I don't think we can make that anymore. There's a part of me that wants... Listen, if there were 2 Pro Bowlers on the Jaguars team this year, in my opinion, they would be Tyson Campbell and Logan Cook. If neither of the 2 get in, you can make that whole small market, people aren't watching type of scenario. I still think the major reason why they won't go is because Jacksonville hasn't won enough games. And they also vote for the Pro Bowl and all pro way too early. The voting process should take place like Major League Baseball. You should wait until the end of 162 games. Doesn't matter what happens during the postseason. If you are a writer of the Baseball Association of America, you submit your ballot. I saw today that this was the day that it was announced back in 1940-something where Ted Williams, despite winning the Triple Crown, didn't win the MVP. They gave it to Joe DiMaggio, whose numbers were totally, they paled in comparison to Williams. I mean, back then you didn't have OPS and WAR and any of that. Back then it was simple. You looked at average, home runs, and ribbies. And a Midwest writer left him off the ballot. Didn't even put him on his top 10. He won a Triple Crown.
So DiMaggio hit 315, 20 homers, 97 ribbies. Ted Williams, 343, 32 homers, and 114 in the same category. DiMaggio received 202 points in voting compared to only 201 for Williams. So 1 vote, basically, the difference between the 2.
That writer should have lost his ballot. I mean, if you can't hide personal feelings from doing your job, then you should not be allowed to vote. I don't care what the process is, whether it's the Heisman Trophy, where I'm lucky enough to be a voter, and Max Duggan, in my opinion, I'm giving him a tremendous amount of consideration. But I compared him to Baselli here in the 90s because, let's be honest, unless you're a Big 12 fan base, they're not a powerhouse. They're not a blue blood. And, to my listening audience, ask yourself this question. How many of you people really get geared up to watch TCU play a college football game? I know the answer to that question. Okay, my girlfriend spent 2 years at Texas Tech, and then she went over to Oklahoma and graduated from there. So I watch more Big 12 football, and there's been some positive things throughout that, like watching Patrick Mahomes play at Texas Tech, where Cliff Kingsbury was the coach, and watching Tech win games 55-51. Also watching him lose games 55 out of 48. But if you look at TCU's schedule, I mean, at Colorado, Tarleton, SMU, pounded Oklahoma, who was ranked 18th at the time. Pounded 19th ranked Kansas. Remember Kansas got off to that hot start? I think they were 5-0. They have really struggled as of late.
I think game day was at that game.
Yep. Oklahoma State, I mean, lost in all this. TCU beat 4 ranked teams in 4 consecutive weeks. No buys. On October 1st, 8th, 15th, and 22nd, they beat Oklahoma 55-24. They went into Lawrence, Kansas, won 38-31. They knocked off Oklahoma State in double overtime, 43-40. And they knocked off Kansas State, who was ranked 17th, 38-28. So they ranked, they beat 4 ranked teams. Then they went to West Virginia and won, knocked off Texas Tech. Then they beat Texas 17-10. So this is the only rematch this weekend, but I get it. And I understand. I do. You folks are SEC fans. Sure. You love Florida State. Sure. You love Miami. You love big brand football. You'll watch USC play because it's a Friday night game and it's under the lights. How much interest, honestly, are you going to have in watching a game that is Michigan and Purdue? If it was a rematch between Michigan and Ohio State, and I know that could not happen because they're both in the same division, you'd be all over it because it's 2 brand names. I'm even having a difficult time trying to sell Clemson, North Carolina. I mean, those are 2 teams right there, both coming off losses and both completely out of a college football playoff. So if Michigan wins, Georgia wins, TCU wins, and USC wins, those will be the 4 teams who will go to the college football playoff. And, Williams, and right now many people believe that he's the guy to beat, and he would have to lose this game. He doesn't even have to put up special numbers. I think you just have to win the game, and my feeling is that he's going to win it. Max Duggan, this could literally be his coming out party, and that's so bad for voters. I mean, for fans, it's one thing, but for voters, it's another. I mean, this guy's completed 66.6% of his passes, 3,070 yards, 29 touchdowns, 3 picks. He's also run it for nearly 300 yards and another 5 touchdowns. So he is a dual threat, and I got to believe with that, when the ratings come in, that'll be the least ranked matchup that comes in with the 4 games that really mean something. Of course, Friday night we get Utah and USC, but that game's at high noon on Saturday. If you're golfing at a beautiful golf course this Saturday, do you break your golf plans because you're like, I got to watch TCU Kansas State? No one around here is going to do that. Those are the facts. All right, we'll come back. Let's talk a little bit more about that. Also, this tonight is all about you. Reaction to this weekend, reaction to the college football playoff rankings. I do want Jag fans to get in. Seminole fans, Gator fans, time to air it out. 641-1010. Beginning tomorrow, we really make that move towards Jacksonville going to Detroit. But tonight's a good opportunity for you to give us your feedback. 2 ways to do it. Text line, 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. We'll also take phone calls. Same number, 641-1010.
A great general knows what to anticipate from the enemy.
Out here, it's military law.
Hayes Carline takes you behind enemy lines.
And I'm in charge of enforcing it.
Each week during a Wingstop Kickoff Show, 5 hours before kickoff. Brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Hey, Hickett here for my friends at Roof It Right. Head over to roofitRightFL.com and check out their warranties. Roof It Right offers the best warranties in the business, and they will be there to stand behind their work should you ever need to make a claim. Listen, folks, if trust is important, trust my friends at Roof It Right. You can schedule a free estimate today at roofitRightFL.com. That's roofitRightFL.com. See why your friends and neighbors say, Roof It Right, so you can sleep at night.
Men suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, regardless of age or past medical history, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Prime Men's Medical Center. And for a limited time, your consultation and first treatment are totally free. Call now, 904-664-8217.
It gets hot for playmakers and newsmakers on the Roof It Right Hot Seat. Roof It Right Hot Seat. on 1010XL. Listen to Mike and Tony every day for the latest scoops from Jacksonville and beyond. Roof it right so you can sleep at night.
This fall, get it together with a family feast for the weekend's games from Woody's Barbecue. High Flying Jacko here, and there's no better way to enjoy a football game.
At Woody's Barbecue, it's what we do. Let's eat.
Homeowners, hurricane season can be a disaster, but I had Ken Lawler and his team at Fifth Element adjusting to help me get my roof replaced through my property insurance. Ken, how does this work?
Well, Jeff, if you have a denied or underpaid claim, an aging roof, or maybe received a non-renewal letter from your insurance carrier, call us. All this is free if we do not recover any money for your insurance claim. Call Fifth Element Adjusting or visit feaclaims.com. If you're happy with the outcome of your claim, Fifth Element Adjusting will not be able to help you. Ken Lawler, DFS number P213199.
Hello, Florida. It's me, Emmitt Smith. Yeah, that Emmitt Smith.
Florida's very own football legend Emmitt Smith with a special message for people here who suffer from chronic joint pain.
Here's one thing we can all agree on, that we are a little older and joint pain is no fun. But I have some great news. QC Kinetics is here with the latest advances in regenerative medicine. Treatments that can get you moving again.
Got pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or back? QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. Non-surgical, all-natural advanced treatments using natural biologics from your own body, delivering lasting results.
QC Kinetics is right here helping people get lasting relief with no downtime, no meds, and best of all, no surgeries.
So take it from Emmitt Smith, who knows joint pain thanks to some of his glory days right here in Florida.
We're on the same team, and we're talking about joint pain relief, and that's QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
This is your Mad Dad's Update with Chapter President Donald Ford.
Hello, Jacksonville. I'm going to get right to the heart of the matter. We have had 485 shootings in 2022. This includes murders and individuals being shot. Jacksonville is well on its way to being the murder capital of Florida per capita population again. The answer to the problem is simple. We as a community have got to come together and encourage one another to break the code of silence. Jacksonville cannot solve the problem, and they were not there when it happened. They desperately need our help. We have got to say enough is enough. I'm not going to take any more. Our family could be the next victim. Hit me on Facebook and tell me what you think.
For information about Mad Dad, go to Mad Dad's Jacksonville Chapter Facebook or MadDadsJacksonville.com.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Beautiful Tuesday night right here in Duval. Good to have you with us alongside JJ. I am Rick Ballou. We'll be on YouTube tonight. I know we're a little bit later on Tuesday. Did we still go up on...
We are still on YouTube. The internet loves a nice late night show. So we are on YouTube. All you got to do, go to the 1010XL YouTube page. We're the first video. We're live. Give us a click. Give us a comment. Give us a listen.
641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Also tonight, we are going to take phone calls as we do on Tuesday night. Reaction to the Jaguars, reaction to Florida State over Florida, reaction to the college football playoff rankings. With that, it is Georgia, Michigan, TCU, USC. Florida State's actually 13th here. They were 14th in the writers' poll and the coaches' poll, so they're up to 13. Not as though it matters for a playoff. Obviously, they have no shot there, but it does matter if they win a 10th game. You know, if it goes as expected and TCU knocks off Kansas State, USC knocks off Utah, it's actually UW who's ahead of Florida State, and LSU is behind them. So that's where they moved up one spot. They still could get to 11 if Utah and Washington loses. Then Florida State, if they win their bowl game, you know, a couple of teams ahead of them will lose. They're going to end up in the top 10. But here's where I am with the rankings, okay? At this point, I want some chaos because, the folks with the suits, they can just say, well, look everything worked out. You had the 4 top conferences, each have a team that was repped. The ACC was left out, but Georgia got in, Michigan got in, TCU, USC got in. So 4 of the top 5 conference champions get in. Let's seed them and play. That's not good enough for me. As far as I'm concerned, there's only 2 other teams who have any possibility of getting in if one of those 4 teams does lose. And I think you can make the case right now, by the way, that if Georgia or Michigan lose, they may get in anyway. Now, if they get blown out, that's one thing. But if this ends up being, Alabama has 2 losses by 4 points. They lost at LSU 32-31 in overtime. If Georgia or Michigan loses a 32-31 game, should the selection committee allow them in, or are we at a point now where this conference championship game is realistically one phase of an unannounced college football playoff? How do you feel about that? If either one because we know if TCU and USC lose, they're clearly out.
Well, we think that based on this ranking, but how many times have we seen them totally in the last week of rankings go against everything? Like if TCU wins, they're in. But I think if USC wins but barely holds on and doesn't look that great, they could be jumped.
Really?
Like they still have a loss. It would be rough to have a not-so-great game as your last game in the minds of these voters. So, yeah, I could see them changing their mind and going with, Alabama or Ohio State. I really don't think the rankings mean as much. They change them so much every week. I guess since Alabama doesn't play anymore, Ohio State doesn't play anymore, then that means more this week. But, yeah, if USC struggles, I could see them getting jumped. I wouldn't be completely shocked by that.
I would. I would, and I'll tell you why. It's not like they played Arizona or Colorado late. They beat USC in a thrilling game, and then they beat Notre Dame. And that
killed Notre Dame.
Yeah, that produces a lot of eyeballs. Those are national brands as well, even though UCLA has been down in the dumps for quite some time. And Notre Dame clearly had an up-and-down season. I think the fact that those are brand names, the attention was on USC.
And USC is a brand name.
Absolutely. So I'm going to say obviously if those 2 teams lose, they are out.
Yeah.
What about if Michigan? What if Michigan loses to Purdue, 32-31?
They're out. Just because, but then you don't put Ohio State in over them, with 1 loss. So then you'd have to put Alabama in with 2 losses over them. That's when it gets really convoluted.
Can you put in Ohio State, who lost by 3 touchdowns at home 4 days ago?
Over Michigan, who would lose to Purdue? No. But I couldn't see that happening.
In general.
So it would have to be Alabama.
Well, in general, let's say Michigan loses. Let's say Kansas State beats TCU.
Then they're in.
You know what? I think you're right. Because they were so impressive all year. Okay? Now, their schedule didn't support that. It was really an awful year in the Big Ten outside of the 3 top-heavy teams, which are Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State. I mean, outside of that, they knocked off Notre Dame on opening day, 21-10, right? Notre Dame was ranked 5th. That was a terrible ranking, kind of like Texas A&M, that was ranked number 6. But even heavies, Wisconsin, they went through a coaching change. As a matter of fact, that might have been the game that ended up getting Paul Chryst fired. Michigan State had an awful year. They went into Sparty and beat them 49-20. Iowa, up and down this year, 54-10. So thumping wins there. But if they get in, it's not because of the schedule. It's not because of how impressive they were in these victories. It's because they have incredible street cred. Ohio State, I think right now, outside of Georgia and Alabama, those are the 3 teams in America that are going to get more love and more support than anyone else.
Absolutely. They did beat Penn State pretty bad, which Penn State sneakily is in the top 10 of this college football playoff.
Yes, Penn State was ranked 13th and Notre Dame
8
5th
right now.
So they had
or they were 8 when they played.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yep.
Or no, they're 8 right now.
Yeah, they were 13th when they played them.
Okay.
A couple weeks ago. Alabama, okay, they lost in Knoxville by 3 points. 6th-ranked Tennessee. They lose 52-49, and we all saw what happened with LSU at home. They elected to go for 2, and they won it, 32-31. So Alabama has lost 2 games to top 10 teams on the road by a combined 4 points. To me, that's more impressive than getting blown out by 3 touchdowns at home 4 days ago. But how do you separate what I just said from reality, which is 2 losses for Alabama and 1 loss for Ohio State? I mean, who cares if you win 50-0 or you win 21-20? Isn't the goal to have as few losses as you possibly can? So who's got the more impressive resume?
To me, it's Alabama, and I love Bryce Young. I am such a Big Ten hater. I don't understand why they're just put in there as the number 2 conference every single year. We just act like they're always better than the Big 12 or the Pac-12 or the Big Ten, whatever it's called. I just think Alabama's a better team overall. Although they did almost lose to like Texas A&M, they didn't have a crazy strong season where they just beat the brakes off everybody like they usually do. But yeah, like their losses are so close, and they're on the road. I just think if they played Ohio State in a neutral field, they'd probably be favored by a touchdown.
Every road team they played was ranked outside of a non-conference matchup.
That's crazy.
With Texas, which I believe was a neutral site game.
Another game they almost lost, by the way.
2019, absolutely. But look at their road games. That one, all right, then they go to Arkansas, who was ranked 20th at the time. They win there 49-26. We talked about the loss against 6th-ranked Tennessee and the loss at 10th-ranked LSU.
That was a true road game, by the way, against Texas.
It was?
Yeah.
Where's the neutral game that I'm looking at? They got a
maybe their first game of the year.
Or maybe they just have that on every schedule if there is an asterisk by it. I don't see an asterisk. That's probably what it is. They also won at Mississippi, 30-24. Unfortunately for them, some of the heavies on their schedule didn't have the type of year that they could have, like Auburn, like Texas. You know, if those teams, like Texas A&M, if those teams were ranked, it would have made this Alabama schedule look just a little bit more impressive. Ohio State, what doesn't help Alabama, and listen, the SEC doesn't have to apologize to anyone, but when you have 4 non-conference games, you get that game there against Texas. Your other 3 are Utah State, UL Monroe, and Austin Peay. That's not going to translate. Let's look at the Buckeyes. Notre Dame, okay, Arkansas State. You see today with Arkansas State with Hugh Freeze going there? This is 3 consecutive former Arkansas State coaches who have been hired by Auburn.
What?
Gus Malzahn, Brian Harsin, and then who am I thinking of?
Hugh Freeze went from Liberty.
Yeah, but earlier in their career.
Okay, he was
earlier in their career, all 3 of them were head coaches. Yeah, obviously we know Harsin.
Very weird.
Yeah, Harsin was out at Boise, but earlier in their career, they were all head coaches at Arkansas State, 3 in a row.
Yeah, that's one of those like sneaky good FCS programs.
Let's see here. Notre Dame, Arkansas State, Toledo. Oh, that's right. They play 9 conference games, right? Is that the way it is? No. Yes. Notre Dame. Yeah, that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, all right. So the Big Ten plays 9 conference teams. The Southeastern Conference plays 8. All right, you want to comment on that? As a matter of fact, I see a couple of callers on the line. We'll get to you on the other side. I do want to stay with this for a couple of minutes, but I also want to get out on time at 35 here past the hour. 1-1 now in Boston. Tampa Bay has tied it up at 1 apiece, a minute to go in the second period. When we come back, a little bit more here on college football, including the latest installment of the college football playoff rankings. Are you one of those guys that want to see all four of these conference champions who are favored win and it becomes the way it's supposed to be? Or do you want it to be chaotic? The reason why I want that is I still believe it gets us more teams, and hopefully sooner to a college football expanded playoff.
Being an NFL kicker is one of the most complicated positions on the field.
Plus, the kicker, honestly, is like one of the most important guys on the team.
Listen for the Special Teams Player of the Game, brought to you by the urological specialists at McKeever Clinic on 1010XL.
There's life before sports injury, and there's life after. You're in pain, and you need answers, fast. Mayo Clinic's orthopedic and sports medicine team will see you same day, no referral necessary. Rest assured, we'll get it right from the start and have you back in action as quick as you can say. Ranked the #1 hospital in Florida for orthopedics. To schedule, visit sportsmedicine.mayoclinic.org.
Expert Automotive, Jacksonville's only automotive repair shop, where every car we work on gets a lifetime repair warranty. Never pay for service again once it's fixed. Winter travel is around the corner, and now is the time to get your winterization. Do you still have AC issues? Freon prices are falling, and we can save you money. At Expert Automotive, we service all makes and models. Call 374-3373 today to schedule your appointment. Expert Automotive. We never sell greed, only what you need.
Here's your 1010XL First Coast Community Calendar.
The 5-Star Veteran Center of Jacksonville is the place homeless veterans can go to recover, recharge, retrain, and reconnect. Learn more at 5starveterancenter.org.
If you could benefit from a grief and loss support group, call Haven Hospice at 279-1677.
Her Song is a nonprofit organization that breaks the cycle of human trafficking through survivor care, victim outreach, and education. Find out how you can help at hersong.org.
City Rescue Mission provides life-changing support for the homeless. Find ways to get involved at crmjax.org.
Dreams Come True is a local wish-granting organization giving dreams and special times to local children battling life-threatening illnesses. Find out how you can help at dreamscometrue.org.
If you're involved in a community event and you'd like us to help spread the word, find out how at 1010XL.com. This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On November 29, 1987, Joe Montana completes NFL record of 22 consecutive passes in the 23-12 win over Green Bay.
This holiday season, unwrap a brand new Dreamfinders home. You'll enjoy everything that makes the holidays merry and bright with family and friends in an expertly built, energy-efficient Dreamfinders home. What could be better than calling one of St. Johns County's magnificent communities such as Shearwater, Beacon Lake, or Silverleaf home as 2022 comes to a close and an exciting new year begins. Plus, with an interest rate lock special from Dreamfinders Homes, the timing is perfect to be in a gorgeous move-in ready home. Happy holidays to all from Dreamfinders Homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com.
Atlantic Self Storage, the official storage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Need to make room to watch football in your home or need a place to park your boat or RV? Store it all at Atlantic Self Storage. Over 50 locations in Northeast Florida. 24-hour access, all with month-to-month leases. Moving, they can help with supplies. They make storage easy. Go to AtlanticSelfStorage.com or call 877-WE-STORE to find a storage solution near you. Go Jags!
This is Walker Little of your Jacksonville Jaguars for Kingfish Pest Control. I've been a Kingfish customer for a while now and can confirm that their service is incredible. Not only do they protect my family from pests, Kingfish's office staff is the friendliest around. They even email me a photo of the tech before arriving at my home. Kingfish Pest Control is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Be sure to enter their Swat That Kick sweepstakes for free pest control for 3 years. Go to kingfishpest.com and tell them Walker Little sent you.
I'm Tom Coughlin, founder of the J Fund Foundation. Every year we ask for your help, and every year you come through.
Your generosity helps local families tackle childhood cancer.
And I'm Dan Hicken. We're asking you to please be there on November 30th for the J-Fund Radiothon here on 1010XL. Or you can make your gift of $96 right now. Text GOAL to 243-725.
Thank you for supporting the J Fund on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Does your home or building need painting? For over 20 years, Performance Painting has had the privilege of preserving many of Jacksonville's most prominent buildings. That said, we feel like we're just getting started. I'm Jason Parker, and our team thrives on preparing, protecting, and preserving the homes, businesses, and public buildings that make up our local landscape. Contact us today to put our years of experience to work for you. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting. This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-7473. That's 1-800-747-3733.
Hello, Mr. Soul, I dropped by to pick up a reason.
Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Hell yeah, I love Canada. Bobby Orr and Neil Young. And the French Connection. You ever see the French Connection?
One of the best chase scenes in any movie.
Do you know the French Connection that once played in nearby Buffalo?
No, but I figured that it was a hockey reference.
Gilbert Perreault with the late Rick Martin and Rennie Robert.
Rick Martin, that's not French sounding enough for me.
I think he was from Canada, though. I'm guessing that Rennie Robert was.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Gilbert Perreault. Actually, I think he actually went by Gilbert Perreault. Like,
Gilbert.
You had Rod Gilbert.
Gilbert.
You had Gilles Gilbert. But I think he was Gilbert Perreault, not Gilles. Yeah, I think he was. And again, he played in the early, late 60s through the 70s. What's great about our audience is that they'll correct me whenever I'm wrong, which happens maybe once, twice a segment. You thought I was going to say a year.
Like a month.
But I don't know if they'll have an answer there on Perreault. Hey, last year, we used to shut things down at 6 for the J Fund. But because of our audience, we roll till 8. Last year, we had $14,246 raised in the 6 o'clock hour. 7 o'clock hour, $4,382. So, that's 18. That's about 18,600 raised on Into the Night a year ago.
Got to break at least 20 this
Yeah, we got to get after that. So that'll be tomorrow night. All right, let's grab some calls. Lots happening. Pro football, college football. How did Jeff Saturday not call timeouts last night? With all the criticism in the world, you would think when you get this job and you're openly ripped, that you would at least have a right-hand man in your headset to tell you some obvious things that you're missing, including, you could have had 47 Falstaffs at a bar, and you knew that you had to call a timeout.
That's what I was like. The number one thing that the football watching public can make fun of you about as a coach is clock management. The rest of it is stuff that we can't see or we don't know or whatever, but we've all played Madden. We've all watched football our whole lives. We know when you have 3 timeouts and the clock is running with 45 seconds left and you're down by a score, just burn one. You can't take them with you, man.
It's and this is offense, obviously. There's very few scenarios where the people scream, take a timeout, and it doesn't become a scenario where you should have taken a timeout. The best one that I can think of is when Belichick didn't call the timeout when Russell Wilson threw the pick.
On purpose.
Right.
He saw them kind of the commotion on the sidelines, and he knew things weren't right. Genius.
And lost in all that was the tackle that Dante Hightower made on Marshawn Lynch, and he was able to bring him down one-on-one, which obviously you watch Marshawn Lynch play, that didn't happen too often, but people couldn't believe that New England didn't call a timeout after that. And that was defense. This is a no-brainer. This is offense. I mean, that one play after the sack, like 30 seconds came off the clock. All right, let's grab some calls. Jason.
Real quick.
Yeah.
In the Jags game on Sunday, did it ever cross your mind?
Yes.
Let them score?
Oh, I thought you mean take a timeout.
That too, but when about like 4 minutes left-ish, they did score with Josh Oliver.
You know what?
They could have just run the clock down and sort of kicked a field goal and left you with a lot less time. And they ended up scoring, but in that scenario, I think you have to let them score.
That's interesting. I probably asked Dave Campo a question, if not in between every play, then it's at least every second play. I did not ask him about that. But I did wonder about the timeout before he threaded the needle to Marvin Jones Jr. I was like, burn one of these bad boys. All right, let's go to Jason, who's next up on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Welcome.
Hey.
Hey.
Good evening.
Hey.
Hey, I had some comments just on the college football playoff, and you were talking about a few things. I really wanted to point out, I think it was said, hey, if USC only won by just a little bit, maybe Alabama would jump them. But correct me if I'm wrong, their only loss is to Utah on the road by 1 point, and so they're going to play them again in the Pac championship. So if they win that, it's hard for me to see that Alabama would jump back over them, especially because this is an Alabama this year, in my opinion, that's not like years past. They definitely have some credit from a couple of years ago. They've won a few games by 1 or 2 points and lost a few by 1 or 2 points. Texas A&M comes to mind. And then last comment on it, then I'll take your comments off air. I want to see the college football playoff leave out Ohio State and Alabama. We've seen them almost every year. I'm sure they've been in like 75% of the playoffs. To see TCU make it there for the first time, to have USC make it the first time, and then Michigan for, the second. We're going to have playoff expansion anyway, but I'd like to see something a little bit different.
Jason, appreciate it. Thank you. And, yes, you are correct that it was their only loss. They lost in Utah 43-42 earlier this year. So that is one of 2 rematches, right, that we have this weekend?
Yep. And I wasn't
TCU
saying
Kansas
that I think that should happen. I was just saying I wouldn't be completely shocked if it did.
Well, the point he makes at the end, though, we're gonna get an expansion anyway. He's kind of right. I mean, he is right. My whole point on this, and I guess I've been saying it for years, is you need chaos in order for us to get there quicker. But this year, it's the opposite. This year, instead of Ohio State and Alabama being left out, which they should be left out, if they get in, that is actually going to be what becomes chaotic. It's here we go again. You're allowing these teams that are in it every year, despite losing, they get back in. And so that's where this year's chaos becomes a little bit different, in my opinion. Bottom line, neither one of these teams are as good as they have been. And I think a lot of that is transfer portal. I think a lot of that is a little bit more balance that we're seeing within a couple of these conferences. I mean, USC, they can't stop anyone. They're terrible on defense. I love watching what they do offensively, but even listening to the game this past Saturday night, I mean, you look at Lincoln Riley, he went over there, he brought all sorts of transfer, very talented offensive people, but they did not do well on the defensive side of the football. Is there any doubt that USC is going to be preseason number 1 next year?
Oh, I don't know.
Who rivals them there? Alabama, they're going to lose their quarterback.
That's true.
Ohio State, they're going to lose their quarterback. Michigan, maybe if they win it. I don't know Michigan's what in fact they're losing, but this could be a Caleb
so he's
Williams.
For sure coming back.
He has to come back.
Okay, then yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of to that last caller's remark about shaking it up and having somebody else in the playoff. Alabama has only missed one playoff in the history of the playoffs, 2020, and that was when LSU destroyed everyone.
But we see what happens when Cincinnati gets in.
Exactly. We saw what happens when Michigan State gets in.
That's why I wish we had a 16-teamer. I'll accept a 12. Okay, you want to give the 4 conference champions a bye? All right, fine. I mean, that's not perfect for me, but it still could happen. I mean, seriously, let's just take a peek at this. Why don't we do it? The latest installment, we can play a little fiction here. If it was a 16-teamer, this week you'd have Oregon going to Georgia. Didn't they play earlier in the year?
Was a blowout. First
Bo
game of
Nix,
the year.
all right, so it's a rematch. Yeah, Bo Nix got absolutely crushed. Rematch there. All right. Well, I've always been one of those who believes it's tough to beat a team twice in one season. Oregon State goes to Michigan. I don't know. So far, it's probably 0 for 2. How about LSU facing TCU at TCU?
Juicy.
You know it as well as I do. People who have never seen TCU even play a snap this year are automatically going to pick LSU to win that game because they saw some big wins for LSU, and they are a blue blood, a brand name. And that sells. The bets will come in. The public bets will come in on LSU.
They'd be favored.
Florida State goes to USC.
Oh, love that.
I mean, USC is going to be favored. They should be favored. It's in the Coliseum. Not only around here, but those are 2 brand names. I think
huge brand.
I think that becomes a first-round game that, frankly, you can't miss. Washington going to Ohio State. This Penix kid is electrifying. He's one of my favorite players to watch in college football. He transferred from, where did he come from once again? He played his college football.
Indiana?
I think it was Indiana. Yeah, I think you're right. This guy's a dual threat. You know, I was watching the Apple Cup again on Saturday. As I say all the time, a huge fan of the Pac-12.
Yeah,
Indiana. Utah going to Alabama. Okay? I mean, we talked all about the heat and Utah coming here on opening day. Can they play in the humidity of South Florida? And, you know, that was Florida's best game of the year. They beat them on opening day. You look at the Utes. Okay, they've lost 3 games. They lost at UCLA 42-32, and they lost at Oregon 20-17. So they're not a good road football team. They've lost 3 games on the road this year, but they did knock off USC at home. They knocked off every other team they played at home. Outside of that loss to Oregon 2 weeks ago, look at what they've done this month. They pounded Arizona 45-20, Stanford 42-7, and beat Colorado 63-21. By the way, 2 of those 3 coaches have been fired. The other one's on the hot seat. That's Jed Fish, former Jaguars offensive coordinator, and former Miami Hurricane offensive coordinator. I think it's a good matchup. You know, Utah's got to go on the road and try to win that game at Alabama. Kansas State at Tennessee. Again, no one around here knows anything about Kansas State, and I'm not ripping the audience.
I'm one of those.
I have been doing this for 30 years, and I if there's one thing I do know, it's my audience. Kansas State and TCU does not register with this audience. There you go once again. The whole world's going to pick Tennessee. And then you got another phenomenal game. Number 9 Clemson going to number 8 Penn State. I mean, that's big-time stuff. That's not what we're going to get, however. We are going to get the top 12 teams. And the first conference champions, the 4 conference champions, will all get a bye. So in this case, it is the top 4. Georgia repping the SEC, Michigan the Big Ten, TCU the Big 12, and the University of Southern California the Pac-12. Again, the ACC has been left out, and unfortunately this weekend's game in the Atlantic Coast Conference, unless you're a gambler or unless you are a fan of either Clemson or North Carolina, really doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot. These two teams are both coming off losses, and, they lost to rivals. Clemson let South Carolina beat it. Did I see that? Is that a true story that Spencer there's so much fake stuff on Twitter now that sometimes stuff I see, if it's not very important to me, I kind of overlook it. But the rumor of Spencer Rattler going to Nebraska?
Fake.
Okay, thank you. That's why I asked. But, Clemson lost to their rival in South Carolina, and then North Carolina lost to one of their rivals in North Carolina State. So that game, unless you want to see a really good young quarterback in Drake May, I mean, these two games.
Quarterback.
Oh, yeah. I mean, these two aren't eligible. Him and Caleb Williams are not eligible. And so much can happen, but you have to believe right now that those will be the two quarterbacks that are talked about most once we get to the 2024 draft, like this year where it's Stroud and Young, among others. Anthony Richardson. I'd snatch him up high in the first round.
Probably number 1.
He's going to be a project. They're going to have to work with him. But I'm telling you, man, he has got all the measurables to be something special. All right, let's get ready for our second hour. 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Also, we'll take calls in our second hour. Where are you at, Jaguar fans? I know I did just about all college football. I actually want to get to a little bit more college coming up. The latest on Hugh Freeze, the latest on Jimbo Fisher. There's some Florida State nuggets I want to throw out there. There's some Florida nuggets I want to throw out there. But I want to get to the Jaguars as well. So, your thoughts coming up. We get ready for hour number 2 along with JJ. My name's Rick Ballou.
1010XL is your home for Jacksonville University basketball.
This is Jacksonville basketball head coach Jordan Mincy. JU heads to Birmingham for a midweek challenge against Conference USA favorites UAB. Listen to every dribble of the contest on Wednesday night starting at 8 p.m. on 1010XL.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Want to grow your hair back?
IHRS, right here in Jacksonville, is the only hair transplant clinic in the Southeast to offer multi-unit hair grafting and the 45-minute PRP treatments. Grow your hair back. Call now for a free in-person evaluation. 904-777-IHRS, 904-777-4477, or visit hairforme.com.
15,000 workers. I'm Brian Rose from Remedy Staffing. We survey 15,000 blue-collar workers each year to better understand what drives quality and dependability in our workforce. The survey shows when looking for a new job, the initial pay rate, job security, and safety while working are the most important factors for hourly workers. If you're an employer and would like to learn more about the voice of the blue-collar worker, please call us at 904-528-1933.
Listen up, Jacksonville. It's Santa, the undisputed champion of cheer. I'm helping out my favorite credit union, 1-to-1 Financial. Ooh, yeah. With their annual toy drive for the kids and teens of Sulzbacher. What I need you to do, my Jax brothers and sisters, get a bunch of new, unopened toys and bring them to your nearest 1-to-1 Financial location. Through December 11th, it all goes to support a huge holiday throwdown for the kids. Dorcas Drake style. Woo! Get all the deets at 1-to-1FCU.org. Do your part, Jacksonville.
Nothing like cooking out in my own backyard.
Whoa. Do I smell pizza?
Yes, but have you ever had a pizza like this?
Whoa.
Enhance your outdoor living with a professional-grade Gosney pizza oven. Only at CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living, the exclusive Gosney dealer in Northeast Florida. But hurry, demand will be high and supply is limited. So pre-order today and be one of the first to own a Gosney outdoor pizza oven. Only at CSSOutdoor.com.
When Wingstop made a chicken sandwich, you know they couldn't just make just one. Now you can have all 12 sauces and toss favorites, like the OG Hot, with a side of ranch, mango habanero, and my favorite, lemon pepper. This is Leon Searcy. You're hearing it from me. The Favorites and Chicken Sandwich is back at all your local Wingstop locations. So do like I do. Pick your favorite flavor and try the new chicken sandwich today at Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings.
Years ago, when Harold and Harold was growing, we had a decision to make whether we were going to grow into the state or even beyond. And we decided that we were going to stay here in this community in Northeast Florida. It's staying here and not looking at where's the next place that we can go or how can we get bigger, because bigger is not necessarily better. This is our home. This is where our families are. This is where our friends are. And this is where we're going to stay. Offices, Jacksonville.
The flagship station of the Jaguars, WJXL-FM, Jacksonville Beach.
Are you sick and tired of living with constant pain in your knees and back? You know, joint pain doesn't just keep you from doing things that you love. It affects your job, relationships, even simple things like getting dressed. Leon Searcy here. It's time to call QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics uses advanced regenerative medicine to restore and repair damaged tissues, giving you new life. Hips, shoulders, elbows. They can all be treated with natural biologics from your own body. Powerful healing agents, highly concentrated. If you're tired of steroid shots that don't work, or if you're trying to avoid surgery, call QC Kinetics now to schedule your free consultation. Learn about these exciting new cutting-edge treatments for pain caused by arthritis or injury. No drugs, no pain meds, no downtime. This is an all-natural treatment that can get you lasting relief. People here are raving about the results. Call now. Appointments are available for this coming week. Call QC Kinetics 904-274-5522. With locations in Mandarin and Ponte Vedra. 904-274-5522.
Hicken here. Need help getting your home ready for the holidays? Call Zero Res. They'll clean your carpets, towel and grout, area rugs, and your favorite sofa and easy chair. Look, I've used Zero Res for years. Always amazed each time by how clean they can get my house looking and smelling. It's amazing. That's the Zero Res magic. Book today and Zero Res will clean your carpets for only $49 per room. Plus, they'll give you 20% off your towel and grout cleaning. Zero Res, man. Spell it forwards or backwards. Zero Res. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res. Media mogul Mia O'Brien here, where I'm heard on XL Primetime during the week and on Helmets and Heels Tuesday nights. And now, you can catch me on the kickoff show Sunday mornings, 5 hours before the Big Cats play. All Things Mia is driven by Arlington Toyota.
The best golfing weather is upon us, and Hidden Hills Golf Club invites you to enjoy your round of golf with us. Our warm and welcoming atmosphere and spectacular golf course keeps our customers coming back. Check us out at hiddenhillsgc.com. You'll be glad you did.
Need extra cash for the holidays? Beaches Jewelry and Pawn is always buying guns, musical instruments, surfboards, and tools, and pays cash money. Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacks Beach. Online at beachesjewelryandpawn.com.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, money moving in favor of the Jacksonville Jaguars, depending on where you shop. The line opened up on Sunday night favoring Detroit by a point. Jacksonville now, massive dump. They are favored by 1.5. So that's been a 2.5-point switch in the first 48 hours. Massive. So we'll see. And the Philly Godfather, I'll talk with him tomorrow night. We'll talk with Rafael Esparza Thursday night. We'll talk with the Philly Rooster on Friday night. I'm going to keep you updated on everything. And the money will move. The line will move. I got to believe. We'll certainly check the tickets that have been written and where the money is coming in, including the Wise Guy money, which is always impressive. You see, last week, the most popular bet in the NFL was the Ravens. Okay? It moved to 3.5. That was the most popular bet. Jacksonville covered. The 5 most popular bets this week in the NFL, not one of the 5 covered. Baltimore, Tampa Bay, Tennessee was a what? 1.5-point dog, home dog.
Cincinnati.
Seattle and Chicago. 0 for 5.
That's why those buildings in Vegas are so damn big. And they just keep building them out there. Although I did hear today, 95% of the bets at Caesars Sportsbook on the World Cup were on the USA to win. They were really upset when the U.S. actually did win.
And that's awful.
I'm sure Vegas will recover.
Oh, yeah.
They'll be all right.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, listen, for them, it's all about making money, even in a matchup like that against Iran. Boston has scored. Hold on now. We've got an update from the Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Love that dirty water. Keep that going, please. I've always wanted to do this. Boston goal scored by Taylor Hall, assisted by Nick Foligno and Hampus Lindholm. Once again, number 8 on the air for Taylor Hall. Boston up 2-1.
Where are we at time-wise?
Be fun to be a PA announcer for the Boston Bruins.
My favorite PA announcers are the NBA guys because, I mean, I'm sure it's like this for everything, but they have to do it so often. When the away team scores, you have to have zero excitement.
Right.
When your team scores, you have to go above and beyond.
What a three!
Yeah, and then like literally 10 seconds later, you have to go, LeBron James.
Yeah. When I grew up in Boston, there was the PA announcer was the driest human being ever alive. His name was Sherm Feller, and he would go, heading now for the Boston Red Sox, number 8, Carl Yastrzemski. He had no emotion. He was 100% monotone, and he was a legend. They've had several since. I have no idea who they are or what they ever did. But, I mean, Sherm Feller, we have it?
Boston Red Sox, Darrell Johnson.
What's this, World Series with Darrell Johnson, the manager?
Batting first. In left field, number 1, Bernie Carbo.
Oh, Bernie, you're going to hit a homer in the 6th. Big Bernie, out drinking the night before.
Batting second. Playing second base, number 5.
Denny
Doyle.
If you would have seen the dip
in Carbo's mouth?
Yeah, oh my God.
Batting third. Playing first base, number 8, Carl Yastrzemski.
Oh, my goodness, yes. Now, Rice got hit in the wrist. He was out. You know, he broke his wrist before the 1975 World Series.
Fourth, the catcher, Carlton fifth.
So this is before Game 7, which...
This got to be Fred Lynn, number 5, right? Got to be Fred Lynn. And Dwight Evans.
In center field, number 19, Fred Lynn.
This is the best radio in the history of Jacksonville right now.
Who's next?
Dwight Evans, Rico Petrocelli.
Third base, number 6.
Oh, no, we got 3
Rico
left.
Petrocelli.
Okay.
Dwight Evans and Rick Burleson at shortstop.
Batting 7th, in right field, number 24, Dwight Evans.
Ladies and gentlemen in Jacksonville, you're listening to the great Sherm Feller introduce the 1975 Boston Red Sox Game 7 against the Reds.
Number 7, Rick Burleson.
One more.
Pitcher?
Batting 9th, the pitcher. Warming up in the bullpen, number 37.
Rick Wise?
Bill Lee.
Bill Lee, the lefty, spaceman!
Okay, but,
you know, I was talking
so this was before the designated hitter?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
When did the DH come in?
I want to say in the 90s.
73.
Well, regular season.
Oh,
in
but
'73.
They didn't have it for the World Series.
No. I thought you were
even at the American League ballpark.
Right. I thought you mentioned. Yeah, it was like Danny Cater and Ron Blomberg and.
1986. Sorry,
that's when it came into the World Series.
Yes.
Yeah. That gave me shivers, but and by the way, that was excited. Shermfeld.
That was the World Series Game 7.
That was pregame and they're taking the fifth. That was excited.
That sounded like a July game for the Miami Marlins when they're like 15 games out of first place.
Now, I was watching. I do it all the time. I admit to stuff, and when I get a little taste, I do one of two things. I either really get after it and play some great music and stare at the stars, or I flip on old hockey fights on YouTube, okay? A lot of times I go old school wrestling. I was talking to Tony Khan in the box Sunday. I love his wrestling. I know he's coming off a brand, one of his highest pay-per-views that he's ever had. But to me, I'm a 70s, into the 80s type of wrestler because I've always loved the interviews. But you know what's amazing about sports back then, and you had it on your computer, I never saw it. You look at sports then in the 70s, I bet you saw, one or two Red Sox hats?
They dressed up?
Everyone's wearing, there was no memorabilia back then. There was, you go to a Jaguars game, you go to any game, every fan wears the home team. Hat, jersey, T-shirt, whatever. Back then, nothing.
Huge L. Like, you're missing out on so much money if you're the...
Well, how do they miss out on...
I don't understand. Everybody nowadays, for Christmas, you're getting Jaguars this, Jaguars that. Like, everything is up for sale with these franchises nowadays. Back then, I guess they weren't smart enough to make it as such a corporate investment or a money-making opportunity.
But going to a university, going to college and majoring in marketing has been around forever.
Yeah, I don't know why.
How did they not know that make the products available? And you know what? They were available because my dad used to take me.
Like a jersey?
Like those nacho helmets that they talk about, like the old plastic helmets. I have a few of those in my bar. And, I would get things like that, a Red Sox ball cap or whatever. But, that was a kid in 75. I'm talking about grown-ass men and adults who you're going to a Florida State, Florida game?
$200 for a jersey.
Oh, my God. I was looking at Twitter after the victory yesterday or Sunday. And I'm just scrolling through some of my mentions, and one guy's on there going, I got to get myself an Andrew Wingard jersey.
My God.
And I'm just like, these fans they're fanatics. But you're right. How did they miss out on the millions and millions and millions? All right, back then in the 70s, it wouldn't have been millions, but it still would have been a hefty amount of money that these teams could have stashed in their pocket. During that World Series, you didn't have any marketing at all on the outfield fence, the green wall. You didn't have the bleachers. They were just nets. You had the one Sitco sign that hung over, but, look at what's going on now. I've noticed in the last 2 years in hockey that they make it for television only.
On the ice.
Oh, yeah.
Advertisements on the field.
Oh, yeah.
Let me give you the future of our sports. It's already in Europe and South America, and it's been like this for a long time, and it is in the NBA.
Unis?
On the uniform.
Why not?
I don't know why not.
It's
so much space not being taken up. I'm shocked that the NFL let the NBA get ahead of them on that.
So upset that Glenn's Liquors is no longer here because I can see the Glenn's Liquors Jaguars. Here come the Glenn Liquors Jaguars.
Class.
Yeah,
what would the Jags be?
Miller Electric. The Miller Electric
Boom.
Jaguars. Local. What if some big national brand?
Vision.
Yes, Schmunez Vision. The Blue Crab House Jaguars. I was talking with my buddy Tom today. There's still permits and all this.
Are they not open?
No, the delays. Yeah, I'm planning on going there.
Government, bro. Government.
First off, I'm in dire need of crabs. And secondly, that's usually where I go on Christmas Eve.
Oh.
They got to throw me out of there. They're like, hey, we got to get home. We have kids, I got my elbows dug into the bar. It's late at night. But, yeah, you do wonder, honestly, and I got to believe Jerry Jones is going to be the first to do this, right? You ever been in the Jerry's world? You can't get a Bud.
No, but my mom and
you can't
Dad
get a Bud
went.
Light in there. You can't get a Budweiser in there. You won't get anything in there outside of Miller Lite and
Really?
I believe Coors Light.
Because they're the sponsors.
Yes.
You go to a Jags game, you get anything.
I
Even
wouldn't
though
know.
they do have a sponsor, I'm sure you can still get anything. But yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if in the next few years we start seeing teams, specifically teams like that, the Cowboys, pop up with, Chevy or whoever on their chest.
And then the NFLPA is going to pound the table and say, wait a minute.
We're not getting our cut.
You're putting Coca-Cola on our uniforms, on the front of the jersey. What about next to our name on the back of the jersey? Shouldn't we be allowed to pimp ourselves out for another revenue stream?
Because a lot of these guys are sponsored by different companies. Remember the Dream Team?
Yeah, they covered everything up.
Michael Jordan was a huge, obviously, Nike guy, and it was Adidas or Reebok, whoever it was, and he kept a towel over the logo the entire closing ceremony.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, all these individuals have their own sponsorship deals that are different from the team sometimes.
It doesn't register now. But 40 years from now, okay, what is it going to be like then? Okay, I mean, again, you just played something from 1975. So that was nearly 50 years ago. What is sports going to be like in another 50 years? Back then, people were complaining about players who were making $1 million salaries. Back in 1975, I don't even know if there was a $1 million player. I want to say Nolan Ryan became the first $1 million player. And you had guys like George Brett and Pete Rose and Joe Morgan. And
1980, Nolan Ryan.
That was the first one. So I mean, you got guys in 75. You have all those Hall of Famers. Okay? Jim Rice was hurt. Carlton Fisk, Carl Yastrzemski, Lynn didn't get in. Dwight Evans didn't get in. You had Johnny Bench, Joe Morgan. Pete Rose isn't in, but obviously we know his story. Who else? I guess that's it. No pitchers on either team? No. So you had 6 Hall of Famers. And I'm guessing their average pay was $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. I mean, the Reds had some great players who didn't make it to the Hall. Tony Perez was a Hall of Famer. Tony Perez in that Game 7, the ephus pitch by Bill Lee. He literally threw an ephus pitch. And Tony Perez put it off the cask and flagon over the left field wall. But they had the original Ken Griffey, and they had, George Foss. They had great players. Cesar Geronimo. It was just... Back then, it just, that feeling of these players, okay? Every player that I mentioned, for the most part, was developed by those two organizations. I'm trying to think of anyone who came to any one of those teams via trade.
Free agency didn't even really exist.
It started with Curt Flood a few years prior to that, but it was a wart. People didn't free agency in every sport. Spencer Haywood, in the ABA. Certainly with Curt Flood in Major League Baseball. I mean, he was staying for a number of years. And I just joked about the NFLPA. Give Major League Baseball credit. Their union was very difficult. The NFLPA's union back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, they were laughing at them. They were abusing these players for very little play. They had no rights. Even in 95 and 90, I mean, even in the early 90s, when the Jaguars got their franchise, Tom Coughlin had legitimate two-a-days. Guys are hitting during practice. They never hit anymore. I mean, they're legitimately doing 11 on 11, and they're doing individual drills. It's just amazing how everything has changed, and it will continue.
Read The Lords of the Realm. It's a baseball book about how free agency basically started, and like the players' union, and how why the MLB players' union is still so strong to this day.
Yeah. But I think for every fan out there listening who loves baseball, and those were two teams, but it didn't matter who your team was. You could have been a Braves fan. There was something about identifying yourself with those players and staying with those players where, look what happened. Verlander just won a World Series, and you would think, all right, he's going to re-up in Houston, right? I mean, how much do you need to pay the guy? You want to give him $1 million to start? No, he's going to get Cordy. He's going to get Fleur. You know, they're going to go out and take a look at him. You know, I guess at that point, the ego was about the most amount of money. Look at Aaron Judge. He's been in San Fran. He's been in Queens. Is that what it is now for Aaron Judge? Does he have to become the highest paid player in Major League Baseball? If the Yankees offer him $40 million a year, but the Mets offer him $41 a year, do you go play in Queens? Because no one's going to be able to spend that money. Is it a statement? Is it ego? I don't know the answer to that question because I've never been in a situation like that. I mean, I'm guessing that almost all of you out there have never been in a situation like that. I mean, you know, I've always looked at it like this. If you're making, you know, $10 an hour and some guy offers you 11, you probably take it. If you're making $30,000 a year and someone offers you 50, you take it. You're making $200,000 a year, someone offers you $250,000 a year, you take it. $1 million, someone offers you $2 million, you take it. But when you're making $40 million a year and someone offers you $5 million, I mean, I've never been able to figure that out. I won't mention a name because I was told this in confidence, but I'm fully aware of someone out there who is incredibly wealthy, and that happens to be his hobby as well. It's not golfing, it's not surfing, it's not playing tennis, it's not doing anything along those lines. Okay, it's not playing video games, it's not watching movies, it's finding ways to wake up the next morning and make more money. That's the hobby. I can't imagine that. But anyway, whatever floats your boat is what they say, I do believe. All right, let's take a break. Getting a ton on this. Love when we get off the grid just a little bit. I think we should do that every Tuesday night. Pick a team and have an introductory taking of the field with their PA guy. We can do it in every sport. It can become a segment.
1982 Oakland Athletics.
Oh, my God. They won 3 straight World Series.
A's owner Charlie Finley.
That's
crazy.
He sold them all. He sold Raleigh Fingers, Vida Blue, Jim Catfish Hunter, Reggie Jackson. A lot of people forget Reggie Jackson spent 1 year in Baltimore in 76 before he went to the Yankees. Sal Bando, Burnt Campaneris, Gene Tennis, Bill North. He just had a complete fire. Can you imagine being an Oakland A's fan? And then they came back in the 90s with Tony La Russa and those great teams. All right, got to take a break. I am way past where I should be, but that is that.
He's got 55 reasons to listen to Jaguars Today every Friday.
It's always been us versus them.
Tom McManus.
I want that played at my funeral.
Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. A better way to a better window on 1010XL.
Did you know the average water heater will last anywhere between 8 to 12 years? And if it's not properly maintained, it could fail even sooner. Mia here. Winter is coming, and you don't want to be stuck without your water heater this holiday season. So, give my friends at Duck Duck Rooter a call and let them replace your older model with a new, more energy-efficient water heater. Schedule your service today so you don't have to worry this holiday season. 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckrooter.com.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
Hello, Jacksonville. This is Greg McGarity, President and CEO of Gator Bowl Sports. The Tax Slayer Gator Bowl game and events have been a Jacksonville staple for more than 75 years. We support more than 4,200 local youth annually through Gator Bowl charities. Gator Bowl Sports is a perfect way for local companies and individuals to get involved. We'd love to meet with you and talk about how you can join our team. If you'd like to learn more, contact us at 798-1700, 798-1700.
Sounds from the Swampland with Tab Benoit and New Orleans' own Dirty Dozen Brass Band. Saturday, December 3rd at Florida Theater. Tab Benoit and the Dirty Dozen Brass Band join forces for one bluesy, soulful evening. Tickets at floridatheater.com. Tab Benoit and the Dirty Dozen Brass Band. December 3rd, live at Florida Theater.
Here's your 1010XL First Coast Community Calendar.
The 5-Star Veteran Center of Jacksonville is the place homeless veterans can go to recover, recharge, retrain, and reconnect. Learn more at 5starveterancenter.org.
If you could benefit from a grief and loss support group, call Haven Hospice at 279-1677.
Her Song is a nonprofit organization that breaks the cycle of human trafficking through survivor care, victim outreach, and education. Find out how you can help at hersong.org.
City Rescue Mission provides life-changing support for the homeless. Find ways to get involved at crmjax.org.
Dreams Come True is a local wish-granting organization giving dreams and special times to local children battling life-threatening illnesses. Find out how you can help at dreamscometrue.org.
If you're involved in a community event and you'd like us to help spread the word, find out how at 1010XL.com.
If you want to work with new tech security cameras or home automation, Tyson Sound and Security is looking for you now. You'll start at $20 an hour or more, and you can qualify for a $1,000 signing bonus. Tired of that warehouse or food industry job? Try working for Tyson Sound and Security. They will train you. Apply online at TysonSoundandSecurity.com or call to apply 762-1000. Tyson Sound and Security is an equal opportunity employer. 762-1000.
I'm Lauren Brooks. Join me for the Gator Report on 1010XL. Go Gators! As I break down the latest storylines in Gator Nation.
Brought to you by Darley's Plumbing, where quality counts on 1010XL.
Your home of the Florida Gators.
Brackish Vodka, part of the Brackish brands, is made right here in Jacksonville. 100% from corn and gluten-free. It's the local answer to Tito's. Brackish Vodka is the proud partner of Growlers Bar at Tailgaters, and we will be pouring free samples of our local vodka, as well as selling merch at each home game. Brackish brands are for those who live life slightly salty. And once you try Brackish Vodka, you'll be slightly salty too. You've never had vodka this smooth. Buy Brackish at any Shores Liquor. See you on game day.
A Dream Finder's home is an amazing way to celebrate the holidays. Unwrap your family's future in a new St. Johns County community like Shearwater or Beacon Lake as 2022 comes to a close and 2023 awaits. What could be better than an expertly built, energy-efficient, move-in ready Dream Finder's home to enjoy everything that makes the holiday season merry and bright? How about an interest rate lock special from Dream Finders, which will secure your new home at a big savings? It's the holiday gift that keeps on giving. Happy holidays to all from Dream Finders Homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, Hugh Freeze out on the plains. Makes perfect sense, right? I mean, this is the same university that fired Terry Bowden, who went 47-7. Let me say that again. 47-7. I was on the field with Jack Arute when Patrick Nix, the daddy of Bo Nix, hit Frank Sanders and beat the Gators. But he beat Alabama. He beat them all. And he had consensual sex with a booster's wife. That was his biggest mistake. I'm sure at Auburn, he could have had sex with anyone, just not a prominent booster's wife. This particular program went on to totally, in a lot of circles, depending on what you believe and what you don't believe, either fabricate or certainly drop gasoline on the fire, really ignite the scenario with Coach Harrison about the possibility of him cheating on his wife. Yet they hire a coach who is dabbed deeply into the world of prostitution. Okay? I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Now, Hugh Freeze, oh, by the way, if you remember when he had Dak and he had that very talented team at Mississippi, they beat Alabama twice. And he was 34-15 at Liberty. This man can coach. He got away from him late, kind of like the current Ole Miss coach. He got away from Lane Kiffin late, which to me is a direct example of if you lie to these kids and you flirt with other jobs, they're not going to play hard for you anymore. Even though Lane Kiffin stayed, he still made a complete mockery out of that university, losing those last 3 games, losing 4 out of 5. And it felt like the kids quit on him. Not the Alabama game, but the games after the fact. So he said, Hugh Freeze, and this is an unbelievable story because Hugh Freeze said to the athletic director at the time that he misdialed when he called an escort service. He went to the misdial. And anyway, but to make a long story short, his lawyer, what happened is the athletic director came out and said that all of the violations that came in, none of that had anything to do at all with Hugh Freeze. It went back to the Houston Nutt tenure. And Houston Nutt's lawyer said, you got to be kidding me. You're destroying this is total character assassination. You're destroying the reputation of Houston Nutt. So it was his lawyer. All Hugh Freeze had to do was apologize and come out and act that way. JJ, he didn't. He refused to apologize, said it was a misdial. The lawyer representing Houston Nutt legally asked for all of the records, everything that went into any of these allegations, and some of the violations which were either announced or were getting set to be announced. I don't remember which one it was. It happened in 2017. And that's where they found that he had several phone calls to prostitutes. Okay?
All by accident.
Right. Yes. But it never, the point of the story, it never would have been discovered if Hugh Freeze told the truth and the athletic director told the truth. It was the lawyer of Houston Nutt who turned over that rock and found the evidence.
Now, do you think, because the Twitter knives were out today, Do you think these people actually are upset about the hiring of someone with some past discrepancies? Or do you think it's just they didn't hire Cadillac Williams, so we're pissed about that?
Well, I think there's some of that. Listen, the players wanted Jim Leonard at Wisconsin.
I was shocked that didn't happen.
The players wanted Cadillac Williams at Auburn. There's something to be said there. We know Auburn is the dirtiest program in college football. I don't even think it's close. I mean, seriously, can you give me another school?
I would. Miami's up there.
Okay. But for the most part, there was a little talk about this new NIL and all that money against still kind of a gray area. Miami certainly has a. And we can bring up listen, every school in this state's been hammered. Florida's been hammered. Florida State's been hammered. But I'm talking about and what I mean by dirty is not breaking NCAA allegations. I'm talking about it's a gangster type,
like with boosters
program.
And everybody who's really running things behind the scenes. Yeah.
Where today at Auburn, they didn't allow the athletic director to speak. He wasn't taking questions.
Saw that.
And I tweeted out, why would you have him speak? If you really want to get down to it, go in the back door, go through the kitchen, go to the table, the private table with 2 or 3 guys. They're the ones who are calling the shots at Auburn.
Billy Bob.
It's
the
unbelievable.
Billionaire Billy Bob, yeah.
It's incredible. And you know what? They all love Cadillac Williams as a player. They loved what he did. And I read some reports that Hugh Freeze is considering keeping him on staff. But they're going to make the decision, and they could care less about the reputation. They could care less about guys like me and anyone else who writes about it or talks about it. They want to win.
And winning heals all wounds, and these people will be quick to forget about how upset they were when he got hired if he wins 9 games next year.
He's also a guy that if he does not win, they'll be asking for his head, in a year.
And he's probably cheap and easy to get rid of. That's you bring in Lane, you're going to have a huge buyout, I'm sure, with Kiffin. And so even if things go really terribly, you have to keep him around. I'm sure Hugh Freeze is pretty damn cheap. So if things go bad in 2 years, you can sack him and it's fine. Move on.
Just to go back to that story of Mississippi, I want to clarify it. It was in January of 2016. Mississippi was about to get slammed with 15 level 1 violations, including the infamous lack of institutional control. What happened is the athletic department orchestrated a massive misinformation campaign by repeatedly supplying the media with off-the-record lies, about what was at the heart of the NCAA case. It goes on to say here that the school kept telling anyone with a microphone or a keyboard that most of the major violations occurred under Houston Nutt, the former coach. This was not true. Houston Nutt's lawyer then got after it, but also during all of this, Hugh Freeze reportedly was lying directly to his players, the recruits, and the families of his players and recruits. Hugh Freeze, when it started to get out about, call girl gate, or whatever it was, not only did he deny it, he walked into parents' homes and said,
"That's BS.
Oh, I had a misstyle."
Happened one time. Who doesn't accidentally call a brothel? Find a nickel for every time. Jeez.
Her name was Bambi. She was a blonde, but it was a misdial. Okay?
Now we're friends.
Okay. And then they uncover the fact that he's got several calls to the server. And by the way, I'm not hammering him for his personal life decision. I'm hammering him for being a head coach at a major university who lied to everyone. And listen, lying is one thing. All right? It seems like every day in sports, hell, I won't mention politics, but it seems like every day there's an example of a grown man lying, okay? But why would you lie if there is physical evidence that is going to prove that you are lying? That's what I don't get. So anyway, he's paid his penance, has he? I mean, you got a problem with it? Honestly, I don't have a problem with it.
No.
I don't have a problem with it at all.
It's been years.
Okay? This is big business. And I don't care who you are or what you've done. Well, actually, to some extent, obviously. He made a mistake here. He made a mistake with his family, but to me, the biggest mistake he made was not calling these ladies. It was lying to the guys that he expects to run through a brick wall for.
Cover up always worse than the crime.
It's like last year's Urban story. Okay? Now, I don't want to stereotype
NFL players?
No, I don't want to stereotype the Jaguars locker room. But I'll just say the NFL. And you got 21-year-olds and you got mid-35-year-olds, okay? You got a 23-year-old like Trevor Lawrence who's already married. You got other guys around the league who want to enjoy their fame and don't want to settle down just yet. Here's my guess. The majority of the NFL players, here would be my guess, okay? The majority of the players had no problem that he was caught with that lady in a bar.
Laughed about it.
The problem they had is that he didn't fly back with the team.
Exactly.
Think about that for a moment. He probably, in some circles, earned some respect for some of these people. Look at our coach. He's out with a much younger lady. He's doing this, he's doing that. And probably earned some street cred. However, he lost it all because he didn't fly back with the team. Flying back with the team is far more important to that locker room than what Urban Meyer does with his personal life.
So true.
So, as far as Hugh Freeze, yeah, everyone deserves a second chance. If I was at Auburn right now, that would be my main concern. That is him telling the truth, not picking up the phone and calling a call girl. Okay, it's telling the truth. Jimbo Fisher doesn't tell the truth. That's the biggest concern you've got to have with this man. He fired his offensive coordinator yesterday, Darryl Dickey. He's out. Well, Darryl Dickey doesn't even call the plays. How do you fire an offensive coordinator who doesn't call the plays? To me, that probably means he's going to give up being a play caller and hire someone now to call the plays at Texas A&M. It's always been dirty. There's always been under the table, and I'm going to tell you what you want to hear and hope that I don't get caught. Then we're so surprised when they do get caught. But in the case here of Hugh Freeze, if he wins, man, it's gone. Forget about it. It's all. If Deshaun Watson wins this weekend, it's gone. Apparently, there's going to be a bunch of his
I don't
accusers.
know about a bunch, but there's some accusers that
about
are
10 or
supposed to
so
be at the game. So
yeah.
I doubt we'll see the NFL broadcast show them.
You think the NFL will show it?
No. I think we'll see it on Twitter. But I would be shocked if CBS was like, and here's a camera view of the accuser's box that they're sitting in today. There's all 10 of them, and they're here to see Deshaun.
Roger Goodell passed the buck. He did not get involved in the initial penalty or when, they appealed it. Do you think Roger Goodell, I don't even know where that game is this week.
Houston, I think.
Is it on Cleveland and Houston? So I got to believe that's a CBS game, right? Two AFC teams?
Correct.
Think Roger Goodell made a call to CBS?
Don't do it.
Honestly.
Yeah, he doesn't have to.
Do you think Roger Goodell
I don't
made
even
that
think
call?
he has to make a call like that.
Do you think Roger Goodell made that call?
CBS knows better than to do that.
Or he had one of his lieutenants. Hey, for ratings, if you're
No.
You don't think so?
No, because they're not going to risk like a 30-second little snippet during a game to piss off the league, like their partner. I don't see it. Who knows? But I would be shocked.
Interesting. Because, I mean, those contracts are signed, and, the whole thing, though, with the rebuttal and I mean, these networks, when players were taking knees during the national anthem, remember what happened then?
Did they show it? I don't even remember. I don't think they showed it like live before the game, but we saw it pop up everywhere else online afterwards.
Yeah. I don't believe they showed it.
Yeah, me neither.
And I was a sideline reporter during that. Oh, I got to take a break. My goodness. I have overshot it once again. All right, final thoughts coming up. Hacker will join you at the top of the hour.
It was exciting, electric.
Michael Hasty, touchdown from 28 yards out.
He throws an incredibly good football, and he's smart, and he sees the field.
In the right corner of the end zone, Marvin Jones Jr.
They wanted to go for two. The players were like, let's go.
Zay Jones catches it. The 2-point conversion is good.
That throw, that catch was a thing of beauty.
You win or you lose on that play. He trusted us to go win the game.
I knew we were winning the game. Like, I could feel it. It was so cool.
A win like this just kind of heads us in the right direction.
Next up, the Detroit Lions, Sunday at 1 on 1010XL, home of the Jaguars.
This month, the Key Buick GMC received 3.99% financing for up to 72 months on Buick Enclave, Envision, Encore, and Encore GX. The stunning Buick Envision is here, and it's been named the best luxury compact SUV by Consumer Reports, and Key has them in stock. As always, whenever you purchase a brand new Buick or GMC from Key, it comes with the lifetime powertrain warranty and no dealer markups. Your service headquarters, fast and convenient, Key Buick GMC on the corner of South Side and Gate.
Chronic joint pain has a snowball effect. It's not just the pain.
What that did is just make me depressed that I couldn't get back into the gym, and I was inactive, gaining weight. I had to find another alternative.
And for Chad, that alternative was QC Kinetics and the non-surgical, natural biologic treatments that can give lasting relief to aching hips, shoulders, knees, and backs.
Once they explained it, it made sense. Putting what we have inside our body back into us in a certain strategic way to heal up in a natural process was fantastic.
QC Kinetics treatments take place right in the office. No downtime, no surgery. And as for the outcome,
I'm just back to bouncing around, having fun, doing my work, living pain-free.
Don't let chronic joint pain rob you of your quality of life. Discover advanced regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. Call now to learn more. It's a free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
Need your carpets and towel looking great for that special holiday party? Call Zero Res. Zero Res technicians are cleaning freaks. Google it and read more than 5,000 five-star reviews. Zero Res. Spell it forwards or backwards. Zero Res. It's the right way to clean.
Life is about choices and the decisions you make. I'm David Robbins with Epstein & Robbins. If you're convicted of a DUI, you'll have to face severe consequences. Walking through the doors of the courthouse or appearing at a bond hearing can be extremely intimidating. Without the right lawyer, you're likely to make the wrong decision. Let our team help you make the right decisions in court. Epstein & Robbins, the right choice.
Epstein & Robbins, fighting for your rights since 1975.
The holidays provide a good reminder to ensure your vehicle is well maintained for safe and reliable travels. So in the spirit of giving, Famous Automotive and Tire is offering a buy 3, get 1 free promotion on all size tires and brands. All new tire sizes and brands, buy 3, get 1 free. This holiday sale also applies to all shocks and struts. Visit the shop for details and get your vehicle holiday ready at Famous Automotive and Tire. 7 locations servicing every customer like they're famous.
What is the only team in the NFL to neither host nor play in the Super Bowl? The answer coming up.
Having the right homeowner's policy protection means you're staying on top of your most valuable possession, your home. For information on finding an agent, go to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours, Southern Oak Insurance.
The only team in the NFL that hasn't hosted or played in the Super Bowl? The Cleveland Browns.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
I'm Hayes Carline. I'm not a lawyer, but I play one on radio. Listen to my closing argument presented by the personal injury law firm of Harrell & Harrell weekdays on The Frangie Show. It's like Matlock, but meaner and about football.
Mark Watson to tell you about hardballcreative.com. It's kind of like a place on the internet where you can shop for products to put your company logo on. Actually, that's exactly what it is. hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Don't suffer another day with cheap box store cornhole boards. Order your custom luxury boards from Mystic Cornhole Company right here in Jax. Ask about pro-level bags, lights, score stands, and other accessories. And score with Mystic Cornhole Company.
Royal Pest Services, a local company you can trust. Royal Pest is a certified installer of tap insulation, which stands for thermal, acoustic, and pest control. Reduce that electric bill by adding pest protection. It's that easy. Online at royalpestservices.com.
Woodcraft of Jacksonville is your local source for woodworking tools, projects, and lumber. If you're interested in a new skill, we offer woodworking classes from basics to advanced. If you need help with a current project, our knowledgeable staff at Woodcraft can help because we're a trusted source for woodworkers. Just come by our location on the corner of St. John's Bluff and Beach Boulevard or call 721-9796. Get your Woodcraft gift certificate for the holidays now.
Hoffman Sausage Company, born in Germany, raised in New York since 1879. Home of the German Franks, snappy grillers, all beef dogs, plus other ridiculously tasty handcrafted hot dog sausages and jerky, all proudly made in the USA with quality ingredients. Order the taste of upstate New York with packages of our famous products delivered straight to your door. Taste tells. HoffmanSausage.com. That's Hoffman with one F and two N's.com.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, final moments. The ACC announced their first, second, and third team today. Florida State had 15 players represented. 11 of those are from the transfer portal, including all three of their first teamers, Dylan Gibbons, Jared Verse, and Jamie Robinson. Jordan Travis was second team quarterback. Also, since we've done a little bit of nostalgia tonight, for the most part, it was stated today that this will be it for Miggy. Miguel Cabrera, he's 39, a 308 lifetime hitter. He's going to play one more season. Okay, 800.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, 1,847 ribbies, 3,088 hits, and 507 home runs. He's one of just 7 players in the history of Major League Baseball to have more than 500 home runs and 3,000 hits. Okay? Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, the switch-hitting Eddie Murray, Al Pujols, who announced his retirement, and A-Rod. Also, Rafael Palmeiro, who was not in the Hall of Fame. We got a final from Boston. The Bruins remain undefeated 3-1. They knock off Tampa Bay. Hockey fans, I may go home and watch that right now on tape. Hackers up next. Folks, please join us tomorrow night all day here with our J-Fun Radiothon, but we'll be on 6 to 8. Hopefully you can pledge then. It's going to be, as always, a real special show here on Wednesday. We do it once a year. Hopefully you can join us for that. For JJ, my name is Rick Ballou. Thanks for all your comments. We'll talk tomorrow, 6 to 8.
The guy you don't want to be busy during the game doesn't wear a helmet.
The medical staff coming out.
Listen for the personal injury attorneys Farah and Farah Injury Update on 1010XL.
I might need some Advil after that.
Protecting you and your family since 1979.
Jacksonville.
Hey, have you heard why people are driving from all over the country to buy from Beaver? Stop waiting for months for the vehicle you're looking for. We have new inventory on the lot, priced to sell and waiting for you. Plus, every new vehicle comes with a 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty for your peace of mind. It's simple. We want to provide you with exceptional service before and after the sale. We'll see you at Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville or Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine. We're here to wow you.
So I'm here with Danny